You know, I love that intro music.
I know, it gets me really excited every time.
I'm just going to give myself a little pat on the back because I wrote and produced that intro song.
Yeah.
And if you hear the little woo at the beginning, that's actually your voice.
Woo!
Yeah, I had Joanna come in to my recording studio when I was working on this, and I said, hey, just go woo in the mic a couple times.
And I loved it.
And this was the product. Was that fantastic?
Yeah, I had to take voice lessons for a while. You know, I had to train, and I really worked hard on that woo.
Well, you really nailed it. You really delivered.
Yeah.
Top
no,
quality.
I like that. I hope everybody likes the song. I mean, if you don't like the song, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, because it is the song.
It is the song. It's what we're sticking with.
Just the Tips. We're back.
We are back.
In New York, in a kind of it's gross out, if I'm just going to be honest, in New York City right now. The air is disgusting. If you hear a little like a nasally drip from my voice, it's because...
It's because you're on cocaine.
No, it's because the world might be ending, and there's... I saw on the news, Brian, that I think 2 days ago, they said New York had the worst air quality in the entire world.
Worse than China.
And so I feel like I got to live in a part of history. I walked outside and I inhaled some of the worst air on the planet.
On the planet, yeah.
Kind
I know.
of crazy. Kind of crazy.
I saw that. I screenshotted it and sent it to a few people. And I said, I'm so proud of this city. New York, always trying to be the best, you know? Sometimes being the worst is also the best.
That's right.
It's actually a difficult achievement to be number one as the worst at anything. So I'm just so proud.
Go New York.
To be in New York. Yeah, it was pretty surreal walking around. It felt like I was inside of Walking Dead. I had like some COVID PTSD because everybody was walking around wearing masks. I was actually looking for the masks in my house. I'm like, I don't know where they are anymore. I think they were all disposed of.
We threw them away. We thought we're not going to
need one.
Again.
Yeah, this is just taking up space. And in New York,
jokes on us.
Yeah, in New York, you don't have a lot of space. Everything has to have a place, and you know the masks used to be near the door, and they just didn't need to be there anymore. We needed that space for something else, like dog food,
dog poop bags, and dog food.
I mean, literally, I think it did take the place of that. So now we have extra poop bags. There's more room for poop bags for the dog.
The essentials.
Yeah, but I wanted to take some photos, and then when I did see people take photos, I guess I was like, damn, I should have taken pictures because I felt like maybe it was like rude or something. I was like, oh, we're actually in like a legit state of the emergency. Should I not be out here like taking pictures? But then all over Instagram, I saw some pretty cool photos. I know. I wish I took a picture to capture the moment.
Don't worry, there were plenty of people taking fantastic photos.
I did even get invited. A photographer that I know was like, he lives in this loft with a big rooftop, and he was like, hey, I'm having a big, I'm putting together like a last minute shoot and, texting all the models I know, we're going to do like a photo shoot on the roof if you want to come and get some photos, like with the world ending behind you. And I was like, gotta love New Yorkers. They're like, the world's ending. Let's do a photo shoot.
Take some photos and get a respiratory disease.
I know. And me, I was like, I know. Right when they're like, don't go outside. He's like inviting, all sorts of people to be outside. And honestly, I would have gone to the photo shoot if I didn't have other plans. And
did you have other outdoor plans or indoor plans?
They were indoor. Well, we went to a party.
We did, and it was indoor.
It was indoors. I mean, I think it was supposed to be outdoors and indoors, and it turned into an indoors thing. And it felt like, I don't know, I was like, if the world ends, this is where I'm going to be when the world ends. And we were at a party, and it was actually a pretty awesome party. And I remember thinking like, well, I'd be okay going out with these people. And there was so many attractive people at the party.
It was a party. It was like a pride kickoff party.
It was a pride kickoff party, yeah.
At a hotel lobby, ballroom, whatever you call it.
Thrown by our good friend Natasha Dreams.
Yeah, and what I did not realize was this was a party of New York's like elites, like the good-looking people, the models, the actors.
There were a lot of beautiful people there.
And I show up. I had just filmed an OnlyFans collab scene. So I just had sex with someone in a hotel room. I didn't even shower really. I showed up in a sweaty t-shirt that I had worn and with my ring light and my duffel bag, and I felt very underdressed, but at the same time,
and I didn't realize
I was inside and just thankful to be inside.
Yeah, and
out of the air.
Exactly. I didn't really dress up because it's a hard thing with some of these parties. You get invited and you don't want to, if you show up overdressed, that's embarrassing.
Well, I had that handled. I was like, check it out, guys. I'm in a t-shirt that I just fucked in about 35 minutes ago. Yes. Still smells like sex.
Sometimes it's actually the baller move to be like, oh yeah, I'm just dropping in. But then I felt very underdressed when I got there. And then, I had all these my brain just started going somewhere thinking of if the world ended that moment, that maybe everyone in that party could have one big, beautiful, giant orgy. That's what I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
I was not thinking about the poor air quality. I was thinking about the good orgy.
All right. Well, it would have been a good looking orgy. We'll have that in our minds.
Yeah. If the world was going to end, how would you want to go out?
Asleep.
Oh. Really?
Yeah.
Not in an orgy?
I mean, that sounds awesome in theory, but what, are we all immediately dying at the same time? I think it's kind of fucked up if there's 20 people fucking in a room
and then they start dying.
5 of them freeze up and die, and then what? Am I supposed to keep my boner through that? Am I do I pause and check on someone? But it's I know I'm about to die, so do I try to get a couple more pumps in? What are we doing here?
So guys, I found an article here from The Mirror today.
Okay,
that ties into this pretty well.
Hit me with it.
A man nearly dies as his brain explodes while having sex with his wife. He had an aneurysm while he was having sex.
But he's not dead. So he lived to tell the tale.
He's not in good condition.
Man nearly dies.
Half of his brain exploded.
Oh my,
interesting.
What does that mean? What does it?
So he had a pop.
Does a brain aneurysm, is it just an internal thing, or can you actually see it from the outside?
No, it's a burst brain. It's a burst blood vessel in your brain. So,
do you think she do you think she noticed? Something's off, honey. Was he able to? Can you?
Did either of them come?
Yeah. Did he ejaculate?
I'm going to say probably not. After collapsing on his spouse, he vomited on the floor.
Oh, okay. So there was some visual.
And then he was suffered body weakness up and down on the left side of his body.
This is really sad.
Yeah, but
she really fucked the life out of him.
My question is,
you're right.
Is that a way? Is that a way?
Should we be happy for them? Did the sex cause the aneurysm, or was the aneurysm going to happen anyway? And it's you may as well have sex one last time before the aneurysm is going to happen.
See, but what's fucked up to me about this, Brian, is, okay, let's say, that's the moment, having sex in the highest moment of the climax, and you go, but your partner's still here now. What? Fucking your corpse? Or immediate fresh dead body. I think the only way this works is if magically both people go at the same time.
Right.
They both come, and in the middle of they're both coming and climaxing together, it's just
that's how I imagine.
Otherwise, it's there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that's. I don't think that's what happened here. There's, she was probably and then oh no, and then. Yeah.
And then, oh shit, we got to call the authorities.
It's actually really sad. And it's also sucks that it's a little bit funny, but also really sad.
Yeah.
So to answer your question earlier, yes, this would have happened anyway.
Oh,
but
okay.
Yes,
so that's kind of good to know that it wasn't sex's fault.
But it was also immediately caused by the strenuous activity of sex. So it was like a weakness in a blood vessel, but it was exacerbated by the fucking.
Okay, but then it could have happened going on a run. It was going to happen at some point.
Correct.
What a better place to happen.
Better to have an aneurysm mid-fuck than something lame like a walk down the street.
Right.
At least this is kind of going out with a bang. Bad. That was a bad joke.
Yeah.
Bad joke.
In my version of the orgy we were all going to be in at the party with a lot of good-looking people that we were very underdressed at. Like we all just had sex and we were so engrossed and carried away with the amazing sex that we were having. We didn't even notice that we were dead. Like it was like just some, like we all went out peacefully and happily.
See, that sounds great.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think reality has, in the news.
Yeah, no, the reality.
I think medical reality has just shown us that is not what's going to happen.
That's really sad. Oh, wow. Okay, well, I actually, speaking of, I guess,
Aneurysms?
Dangerous things or scary things or something.
Speaking of something.
Speaking of scary stuff and sex, I suppose. I did do, a live webcam show last night on my OnlyFans.
did.
That's not scary.
No, that's kind of like a normal Thursday night sometimes.
Yeah. I guess this actually was a Thursday night. Yeah. Anyway, I do. I have this fan who's got a lot of drama surrounding him that did log into the show last night. I'm going to guess a lot of this is made up. I don't know what's made up and what isn't made up. This went from being kind of alarming to kind of funny. But it made me wonder why did somebody why does this get him off? Anyway, to sum it up as best I can, because he's been a fan for quite some time. So this is like a story that's developed over time. Let's just call him Bob, Bob, member of my OnlyFans. He is a professor. Okay. And it started with, he would tell me these erotic stories of how he was dating or in this, forbidden relationship with one of his students.
Oh, spicy.
Yeah. And he would tell me about it.
Oh, Bob, you naughty professor.
Exactly.
What was he a professor of?
It was,
because it matters. It fucking matters.
Actually can't remember right now. So let's just
pick one.
Let's just pick one.
Brian, what was he a professor of?
Astrobiology.
All right. So
I was going to say astronomy.
We have our biologist.
Yeah, science class. We've got,
that guy, Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
Good old smart Bob.
Good old smart Bob. He's in this relationship with one of his students. It's a college professor, so this was not some, yeah. So she was.
So it's a consenting of age.
Yeah, consenting of age, still wrong. Maybe there's probably still an age gap.
It's frowned upon,
definitely,
but it's not illegal.
Yeah. Exactly. This was a fantasy. Exactly, frowned upon, not illegal. Anyway, let's just call the student. What are we going to call her? Sally. Sally, the student.
Bob and Sally.
Okay. So anyway, the story develops. Eventually, him and Sally wind up together happily. When she wasn't the student anymore, and Sally starts logging in to OnlyFans sometimes, and sometimes she's on this account talking to me. Like, oh, hey, Bob's at work right now. I just wanted to talk to you because we love watching your movies together. Yes.
Sorry. So what you're saying is this guy's student girlfriend has access to his OnlyFans.
Yeah, she moved in.
That she logs into sometimes when she feels like it,
when he's not home,
and says hi.
Yes.
Got it. Continue.
Now, and so I would start to talk to Sally sometimes, who was like very dirty and, also bi and, she would tell me about how hot it was when they watched my movies together, and stuff. I'm just saying, look, I don't know what's true and what's not. I would start to notice the words that Sally was saying, and there were some very particular ways she wrote things and phrased things that sounded exactly like Bob. So I'm like 97% sure Bob and Sally are just the same person,
Right.
but he likes to.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Role-playing persona. What does this have to do? You said something scary.
Okay,
and
wait.
live
There's
on
more
OnlyFans.
to the story. Okay.
Okay. So far, Bob
There's
plays
Bob.
Sally
Bob
and Bob.
plays.
Gotcha.
We don't know. They still might be two people. We really don't
Sure.
know. Maybe Bob and Sally. You know,
Okay.
whatever. And that was, whatever.
Where are we going with this?
Where are we going with this? Okay, well, Sally's mother moved in with them at some point. Okay, and
Oh boy. I think I know where this is going.
no, you don't know where this is going. Actually,
Okay.
I know where you think it's going, but that's not where it
Then
went.
get me there. Get me there.
And she was murdered. And at some point, Bob logged in and he said that Sally's mother was beheaded and there was so much blood on the ground. I'm not joking.
He was typing you this live last night during your live
No, this
show?
did not happen last night during the show. This was another point in time. Yeah, this was another point in time.
Okay.
Yeah, months ago. Yeah, Sally's
I have a feeling it has something
mother
like this.
got beheaded. And I was like, I think you should call the police. And he was like, there's just so much blood. I don't know what to do. And I was like, I don't really know if I can tell you what to do. And part of me is like, how is this giving him a boner? I'd imagine
Yeah,
if I'm
because
the
let's remind everyone that
okay, that's where it was kind of tied into danger. Anyway,
I still don't get how it's tied into.
it was tied into the end of the world somehow.
No, you said live last night. What happened last night?
No. Okay, last night live. Or anyway, what were you gonna say?
You have to remind everyone that this human or multiple humans are paying for this interaction.
They are paying for this interaction, so I need to give them what they pay for.
What are they paying for?
Yeah, at that point, I wasn't sure.
I'm not
The
sure.
student teacher fantasy, I knew what to do with. Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, there's so much blood, I don't know." And I was like, "Is Sally okay?" And he's like, "Oh, she'll get over it." I don't know. It was very strange, And then at some point, Sally was pregnant with twins. And he would ask me advice about have sex with her while she was pregnant. And so I have actually, never been pregnant. So I started actually going down a rabbit hole, kind of, and asking my other friends too, who have, been pregnant and had children, and asked, looking at what good pregnancy sex positions were. Why he asked me, I don't really know, but it was kind of an honor to help him with it.
Stranger than
Yeah, so it's just
a lot of sexual things that I've heard you say and do.
Yeah. This one is like a story that kept unfolding. Anyways, I guess the twins at some point were born, and they were not. I don't know. They were staying at someone's house, obviously not the mom's house. Anyway, whatever. They were both logged into my cam show last night. Oh, also at some point during this relationship, while she was pregnant, he decided to transition to become a woman. And I would sometimes talk to Sally about how she could support him through his transition. Cool. I don't really know. I mean, all this is made some kind of sense.
Is there any sex in any of this here?
Well, sometimes
I've heard zero.
Yeah, sometimes he would. I would kind of, I guess, direct them through having pregnancy sex. And then also just sometimes in general, they, last night during the cam show, he was like, "Oh, Sally's here. She's sucking my dick right now. What do you want her to do? Blah, 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 blah." And I'm just like, is your mom well, I guess your mom's not okay. Anyway.
Also,
so they both logged
none
into
of this
my
is real.
Well, I don't know what's real and what's not real. What do you think? Are Bob and Sally? Okay. Do you think that Bob what part isn't? Do you think all of it isn't real? Do you think that Bob was
Joanna,
voting
none
one
of
of
this is real.
None of this is real.
With all respect to Bob, this is not fucking real.
Thought it was real until the beheading came into it, you know.
There has never been a situation where a boyfriend gives his girlfriend access to his OnlyFans and then lets her jump in and talk to his favorite stars as her. It's not real. I'm just going to say it. I'm sorry to burst your Bob bubble.
Yeah, Bob.
I don't even think he's a professor. You
don't think so?
No.
What part do you think was real?
None of it.
The fact that he is logged in. To be fair, we don't even know if it's a he.
Well, he's not a he anymore. Now Bob has a different name.
Right.
Yeah, Bob.
So
Bob became Brenda.
This human likes to concoct wild fantasies.
Yeah.
And have you sort of twistedly role play with him.
Yeah. I guess I was trying, I know it's part of my job to
talk
help
about
these
his
people.
beheaded mother.
I mean, I have to help these people, get off or be excited or something. So this was a unique one to like find the angle. Maybe I don't really know where the beheading fit in. I was like, maybe he has a girlfriend that he really doesn't like her mom, and this was like a fantasy or something. I don't know.
We also, interesting fantasy to choose. Mm-hmm. Got it. So, cool.
Anyway,
Rad.
I just thought I'd share that with you. And it seems like Brenda and Sally are doing okay. Yeah.
Oh, Bob is Brenda now?
Bob is Brenda now. Bob now has a new name.
You're going to have to get like a chart.
Yeah, Bob did transition into a woman, and Sally was very accepting of it. And the twins were born.
Is Brenda still a professor?
Brenda is still a professor. Yeah.
Glad she got to keep her job through the transition.
Did.
That's very.
She did. Yeah. Brenda is still a professor, and Sally does log in when she can. She's been a little busier ever since she became a mother, so she doesn't log in as much as she used to, which she tells me when she does log in. So it is unique when I see the person log in. I'm like, okay, who am I talking to? Especially with the transition in there. It's like, am I talking to, you as a man, you as a woman? I mean, now it seems like she's fully become a woman, but there was like that middle time where like, anyway, so I hadn't heard from them in a while, and they logged in last night. So it's nice to see that they're doing okay. That's all.
That was what all that was for? Nice to see that they're okay.
Or not doing okay.
Wow.
At all.
What a riveting story about nothing real at all.
What do you mean? It was super riveting. Okay, well.
I was here for it.
Yeah, you were on the edge of your seat. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever have sex with a teacher?
Who you asking? Me?
Yeah. I guess.
Did I? I don't.
Or maybe even someone
not knowingly, at least. I mean, never like in a school scenario.
Right. A professor.
When I was in college, there was a couple male professors who hit on me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like younger, cool, like art. I was an art major, so I was up in the artsy side of school, and
okay.
I do remember being hit on a couple times by a couple of the male teachers, but I never. No, I don't. To my knowledge, I don't think I've ever like banged my teacher. What about you?
What about a teacher in general? A teacher who wasn't your teacher?
Brian, have you ever experienced anything like this?
I had a weird moment with the TA one time.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Is that as far as you're going with it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Did he have a mother who was? Did she have a mother?
Yeah,
who was beheaded? No, I guess she wasn't a TA. No.
But no, I don't think she knew anybody who had gotten their head cut off.
I actually, when I was in high school, one of the English teachers was a former NFL cheerleader, and a gorgeous younger, teacher. She was a former San Diego Charger, and like,
That's awesome.
and everyone knew it. All the guys were like, "Ooh, got the calendar, the magazine."
Are there calendars?
And
for
she was
cheerleaders?
yes, and she was so hot and so mean. And so she did not like that kind of like attention being brought up to her.
Right.
And so, of course, naturally, every horny boy brought it up as much as they possibly could. So there were a lot of fantasies.
Yeah.
I had a really gorgeous, like hot Colombian Spanish teacher when I was in my senior year. And I would constantly fantasize about me and her having sex and her like talking Spanish to me and like saying dirty shit. And because she was always so proper and kind of like cold, but like so hot. So yeah, a lot of fantasies. I guess I never really lived out the real deal. I've had sex with a lot of.
Teachers are not supposed to have sex with their students. So
they're not. It's a balance of power dynamic that is frowned upon.
Yeah, the fantasy's okay.
I've played a student in many pornographic films where I have sex with someone playing my professor.
It's true. I have played both the student. I've been in porn long enough where I have been the student.
And the teacher.
And the teacher. And the professor, actually. I've played all those
I've
roles.
never gotten I guess I'm not like daddy enough or some shit.
Yeah.
I never get cast as the professor. I get cast
as the student.
as the guy in detention.
Well, you have neck tattoos.
I think that's what it is. Even though I'm fucking 40 years old, I'm still getting cast as like a 22-year-old like college bad boy, which is kind of sweet.
When I was in high school, there were 40-year-olds.
Touche.
Wait, what? Huh? Why? Why?
There's a little bit of hyperbole.
Oh. Okay. I don't get it.
You know the ones you keep flunking, hanging around?
Yeah, they keep hanging around. Yeah.
Or they're at the parties at least.
Yes. Like, what's that movie? Anyway.
Dazed and Confused?
No. Who's that one? Van Wilder. Yeah.
Van Wild?
Yeah.
Shout out to the performer Van Wild, who I think got his name from the movie, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Who's not old and hanging around.
How do you know?
How do I know? The performer?
I know.
Yeah.
Well, he's like our age. He's like mid-30s.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, I had fantasies about teachers.
Right.
Never got to act on it.
And you've played a student.
I have.
You have played a student. I know.
Many students.
I actually remember that. Yeah. I remember, our good friend, who you used to work for all the time, Quasar. He was like, he needed like a last minute stepdad for a movie. And I remember he was like, fuck it. I'm just casting you, Aaron. This is ridiculous. You're like, you're old enough. You meet the age requirement.
At the time, I was like 38 years old, and he cast me for my first ever, stepfather role.
Yeah.
And I did the movie. It was fine. And then I remember he got like feedback from the higher ups.
Yeah.
And the people who owned the movie production company were like, we like Aaron. He is not convincing as a stepfather. So maybe like don't cast him in those roles anymore.
Yeah.
And that's just the ridiculousness of how porno sort of like age shit works. Like a MILF can be 22 and my 38-year-old ass was still playing like a college kid.
Right.
It defies all logic.
Yes. I think if you have big tits, you can be a MILF.
And if you have like not a bald head and a neck tattoo, you're perpetually a college bad boy.
Yeah, you can't be a dad.
No.
Even if you put on a blazer.
No, then I just look like a cool hipster guy in a blazer.
Yeah, you could be cool. I thought you could be cool, Dad.
Not by porno logic. Not by the porno logic.
Yeah. Well, I did have sex with a teacher.
Why is that funny?
I don't know. Yeah, I did.
Let's hear it. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, I did. A professor, I guess. I mean, I took these like summer classes that were kind of elective, and it was in a different, I don't know. I took these like elective summer writing classes during my college time. I can't explain it because I don't want to be too specific because I don't want to.
Well, you can't just say you did it and not give us anything.
Well, anyway, I
don't be coy.
Okay. Well, I was in, I signed up for this program, this creative writing program that did take place at a university during the summer. Some people I think got credit for it. I don't think I got, whatever. That doesn't matter. Anyway, it was like this summer writing course, and the professor was really hot. I don't know. I remember at the time I had just gone through a breakup, which I think inspired me to do this writing program in the first place. Cause it was one of those fuck it. I'm just going to leave for 2 months and take this writing course. And I don't know, whatever. Anyway, he was really hot. And it was a poetry class. I was really into poetry. Okay. I used to really want to be a poet, which is a good thing because we write haikus at the end of every episode. So it's a good thing
That's why we
that my dreams did come true of being what do you call it? A poet laureate?
That is the thing.
That's a professional poet. You don't know the word. Okay, I'm diverting.
You're diverting from you fucking your professor.
Started just writing really erotic poems about being horny, a lot of them. And I would actually stay after class and ask him feedback, I did go to his office hours once. Yeah. Anyway, he definitely knew what I was doing, and he did not do anything.
He's a professor after all. He's smart.
He didn't do anything about it. And then it was the last day, where the classes were over and there was just this party, this kind of end party, and everybody was going home the next day. And then it happened.
What happened?
I'm trying to think of yeah.
Did you fuck at the party?
No, we didn't fuck at the party. I guess I was well.
So you went home with
I did. I went
Professor
home with
Poet.
him. He did the right thing. Well, he probably should have just told me to go away, but I guess that would ultimately be the right thing. The class was over. He was not my professor anymore.
You were both of age and consenting.
Yeah, look, there was an age gap of 10 years, I think.
But you weren't fucking.
No, I was
teenager.
I was. I can't remember if I was 20 or 21. Right. I was definitely of age. I don't remember how old he was. I think he was in his 30s or something. Right. We're just gonna, maybe whatever. So I remember he was yeah, I'm gonna go, and I was yeah, I'm kind of tired. I'm gonna go too. And I was do you want to share a cab home? Because I remember we were both staying places, and then he was yeah, sure. And then I don't know, one thing led to another, and
Did you stay the night with him?
No, I left afterwards. I don't.
So we had the passionate hookup, and then it was all right.
Yeah.
Thanks. Have a great summer.
Yeah, and we did stay in touch.
Thanks for stayed in touch. B+ or whatever. What grade did you get?
So we didn't get grades. It was
it was one of those.
Yeah, it was a workshop, if you will. So I didn't get a grade. So it wasn't that wrong. He
wasn't saying fuck me or I won't.
No, there was nothing going on like that.
Didn't you say you didn't get credit for the class?
I did not get. But
you got something, all right.
Yeah. So, and it felt good. I was going through a breakup, and I was sad, and I felt sexy. We did stay in touch for a little bit, and but that we entertained.
The poetry was not enough to keep you together.
Yeah, I guess he went on with his life, and I went on with mine. Anyway, if you're out there, you know who you are. I hope everything's going okay.
I hope you like our poems that we've been doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hope you know that you helped me write better poems. You had a great impact on me, and you taught me a lot about poetry and being a woman.
Jesus. All right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, should we answer a question?
Let's answer a question.
Let's answer a question. And then we'll write a haiku.
Is this a question from the fans?
What?
Is this a fan question?
Yeah, let's see. We got a few questions.
And if you're listening to this and you want to, in the future, ask us questions, you can send an email to justthetipsxo@gmail.com. You can also hit us up on Twitter at justthetipspod. And we can't guarantee we will answer all of your questions, but we'll get to one every now and then, and maybe it'll be yours. Who knows? What do we got, Joanna?
Yeah. Well, we have a lot of relationship questions. Okay. Should we answer a serious question or a funny question? Is there anything that's off limits that you've agreed on as a couple? And there's actually a bunch of other questions that are kind of the same question. So I feel like that's what people want to know.
Well, there definitely is. I mean, every couple has boundaries, I think.
Yeah.
You know, even though everyone defines those things differently, our kind of general rule, because I'm assuming they're relating this to sex and like sluttiness and things of that nature.
Right.
Obviously, we have like we have rules like Joanna walks the dogs in the morning while I do the dishes, and I walk the dogs in the evening. But
It's true. Yeah.
That's not the shit
I take the
wanna
morning
hear.
shift and you take the evening shift.
But in regards to being fucking sluts and hoes and whores and porno people, our loose rule is if there's a camera rolling, it's kind of, and everyone's consenting, and like it's cool.
If it's work,
like you good to go. There's not really, we don't really put limitations on each other that way. And then if there's not a camera rolling, we do things together. So
yes.
If there's like a potential threesome that with a friend of ours, we might have, or maybe like a couple who's also in the adult industry. We might have a little fun orgy or something.
Yeah.
But neither of us
have other partners,
have other like boyfriends, girlfriends. Others. We're married to each other. We're big sluts on camera, and then anything else we kind of experience together for the most part. Although you actually break that sometimes.
Yeah, but you told me.
Joanna will go off and have sex with women occasionally just for funsies, and I'm not always invited because sometimes she just needs that, and it's cool.
And you.
I don't. It doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, we talked about it early on in our relationship, and you were not even like.
I was not bothered.
You were not bothered. In fact, you were excited.
Yeah, I thought
about
it was cool.
Yeah, you were excited to sometimes have a night off from me, and
I thought it was cool for a couple reasons. One being, I just think it's hot when you fuck women.
Yeah, you do
it's
think.
Hot.
Yeah,
but yeah, sometimes a night off is cool too.
Yeah, you thought it was hot. So I actually liked that it was almost like you were there no matter.
But I do not go and fuck other women.
No, you
off
don't.
Camera without you, because you would have my kidneys in a bucket, and I would wake up dead if that ever happened.
But I don't like to call that a boundary or a rule.
What do you call it?
I call it that you are just so in love with me, you don't want to do that. Right?
Well, actually, you are right.
Yeah, I am right.
But it is kind of funny because there is a bit of a double standard here. I guess. I guess if we really look at it.
But you think it's hot when I'm with other women.
I do.
Even without a camera rolling, which I actually haven't done in a long time. So ladies, if you're out there, like I am available for you.
She's due for a hookup.
And I mean, I have tried because I have a lot of friends in the swinger poly community.
The lifestyle,
and I always thought, yeah, that's also me. And maybe that would have been me or us if we weren't in porn, maybe it would have been a thing where we could be together for a long time and at some point have a talk about our interests with other people. Like I don't have, I'm like we both fucked so many other people. It's not like we're sitting around like, oh man, we've only fucked each other. We need to fuck some.
No, we've definitely fucked
our eyes don't wander. So, but I had tried the open-ish relationship thing. And I have to just be honest and admit, like, that does not work for me. I am completely fine and not jealous when you go to work. And I don't know if anyone wants to know. I don't even want to say jealous is the word. I mean, there have been times where I guess I've felt a little insecure for whatever reason.
Which is, I think, pretty human.
Yeah.
Like it's only human to, if someone goes off and has sex with a lot of people, every now and then there might be like a pairing that it's not, again, not the jealousy isn't the right word, but you're just like, oh, I feel a little different about that one than a different one. And that's cool.
And we always talked through it.
Yeah.
If anything, there, sometimes, Aaron, you're very handsome and you're very good at what you do. And some girls would have very big crushes on you. And sometimes that was hard to deal with.
They don't anymore. I'm old news.
But you always acted very appropriately, you know.
I'm actually,
and that's a tough situation for you to be in because you still have to have passion in this.
For me, that's kind of why I like doing porn. Is I actually am emotionally extremely monogamous. I don't want multiple relationships. I don't want like a girlfriend and a mistress and a wife.
It sounds exhausting, right?
I want you, Joanna. I want you. And then, but being the very sexual person that I am, I like to have sex with other hot, horny people. Yeah. And this is a perfect way where I can do that. But I don't in porn. But I don't have to really go beyond that because I have no real interest in anything beyond that. So I kind of feel very fortunate that I get to sort of, in some ways, like have it all. I guess.
Yeah. No, I think it is. It's a privilege, or maybe that's not.
No, it is. It is a privilege to be able to have a partner, have real love, respect, and communication, and then also be able to more or less kind of live out your wildest fantasies sexually is not something that most people ever get. It's not something I take lightly, and it is a privilege. It's a total privilege.
It's a privilege.
Yeah.
To have what we have and be able to.
It is a privilege to be married to you and fuck everyone else.
Yeah. And we could probably talk about that more on another episode because there's plenty more we could say about that. But that was just the shorter answer to your question. Now, let's do a haiku.
Is it poem time? I'll start it off.
Okay.
Professor, please me.
Okay.
There's our first line.
Okay, what did Bob and Sally do?
We also talked about the guy who had the aneurysm and died during sex.
I know. But, I want to dedicate this one to Bob and Sally. Right. You know what I mean? So, but we don't even need to say Bob and Sally. We're just going to, think about their relationship. Professor, please me. Let's watch porn together. Let's watch porn together.
That's only 6.
Oh. Bob,
obviously this professor did not teach you.
Yeah, I know. You were too busy fucking. All right. Okay. What I'm like trying to, okay. Together we will fuck girls because they kind of fucked me. Professor, please me. Together we will fuck girls. I like that. It's like because I was part of the fantasy. Thank you, Brian. I was brain dead for a minute. I spent too much time in poetry class fucking my professor.
It's true. So bring it home for us, Brian. You got the last line.
Bob is Brenda now.
Yes.
Oh, Bob became Brenda. Happily ever after.
A beautiful story.
A beautiful story. I hope they're doing well. I'm so sorry about your mother-in-law.
Yeah.
Next time, if somebody's beheaded, if your mother-in-law is beheaded in your living room, please don't report it to OnlyFans. Call the police. Don't report it to a performer
advice.
on it. I
Yeah.
think that's really good advice, right?
Yeah, that's great advice.
Okay, should we?
Fucking smart.
Thank you. Should we
And to wrap things up, if you are a professor of poetry, I guess
call me?
Call Joanna.
Call me.
And if you want to send in your questions, preferably a video question, send them into justthetipsxo at gmail.com. That's the email address.
That's the email
right.
address.
And our Twitter is justthetipspod on Twitter. And Joanna, where can people find you on the internet?
Oh, my Twitter is at Joanna Angel. My Instagram is at Joanna Angel. My TikTok that I'm really behind on updating is Joanna Angel X. What about you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at @thesmallhands_ for both. And you can find me online on OnlyFans at onlyfans.com/smallhands.